This is Justin AMZN on Monday, February 10th, 2020. Taking a look at the 5 minute today, and we had quite a move. Just raised higher, flew right through this channel on up to a hammer, then a high wave candle, pulled back a little bit, came back down into a hammer here and held that as a low. I mean, a lot of bullish candles had this high wave candle, which it shows up as gray, which means the open and close are actually the same price. And I'm hovering over right now, so you can look at the open and the close prices to see that it's true. So it's kind of an extra color. Normally, we're just used to looking at green and red candles in here. But anyway, a really strong hammer right here. Volume's been declining. It's just going sideways. Starts to just kind of pick up a little bit and just grind. And squeeze is forming. The 21 catches up. Get a hammer here, another hammer-ish candle here, high wave candle here. It doesn't actually get below the 21 up until we get into a new all-time high. So this is the all-time high from right after earnings and the announcement. And I'll just show you. If you're new, I'll show you. If you've watched the videos, you remember. I drew that in there just to say, hey, we should get up there. I thought we were going to pause. I really did think we were going to pause in here right around 2010. And that was, we almost got there in the first candle, which is kind of crazy. But here, I'm going to come back into looking at yesterday or Friday and today a little bit. And one thing I noticed in here is where we opened up was really, really close to just being like a double bottom. And then here's a kind of breakout pre-market and a retracement. And then that was your S-curve. And then does another S-curve and just kind of continues to grind up. So, this double bottom pattern here, it just picked right back up. We broke out and we didn't really pause. We just ran because all the pause was pre-market in this space. So just a fantastic continuation. Really quick move. It actually moved more yesterday. The candle yesterday was larger in terms of the bullish move, I think. Let me go look at the height of the candles. This one was 60 and today was 50. Yeah, so yesterday's range was 60. Or Friday's range was more. And it took a little longer to get there, obviously, all the way up to here. Just grinding, a few bearish candles in here in the mix and, kind of topped out. And it did pull back quite a bit. We didn't get as much of a pullback today. But the range in the day, I mean, it made such a huge move here. It sometimes just has to do that kind of a rest. And when it's resting, it's actually kind of a form of a pullback. And we can look at the calls. Now, I went out a bit because it's Monday. And I've got the options prices of the 21.75 calls from Friday's prices that we did open just above here. And the last hour of the day here, let's see. Oops. So this double bottom was forming really in the last a little more than 2 hours, about 2 hours. So yeah, from around here, so you'd expect that a double bottom, so it's actually this here, let me draw again. You kind of expect a double bottom shape to look similar and, obviously with the time decay over the weekend. So from here to here, is over the weekend, and there's enough time decay that the option doesn't open up here at 6. It actually gives you a better open down at 5. You would have just had to have an order sitting out there to get that. What was really nice is that, look at this base that it made up in here, right around 9, and the high up here was between 9 and 10 yesterday or Friday, and that was the new low area. And I love these 10 by 9s. This one got a little bit close a couple times down into the $9 price. But again, if it's, if you're seeing that $10 is a nice resistance or almost $10, I mean, this is 980 and this is 970 and this is 980 again. It's like, okay, well, maybe it'll come back to like 950. You could have been buying 950 with a stop down at 850 and, just let it go. And it didn't break down. That's the one nice thing about these. Even though there's a bit of an uptrend here, the option is staying steady. So there's a bit of an uptrend. through this and kind of picks up. But at this point, it's actually moving directionally. For most of this, it's just going sideways as this is kind of channeling up. But the every pullback is just kind of retracing that level, right back down into the lower range here. So there were a few times you probably could have gotten in 950 and gotten out like 1150, maybe. I don't know if that would have filled. And then this one, I guess actually just this one time right here. What was this at 10:05? Or 10:05. This one. So from here to here would have been a 2-hour move, but you would have had to exit right there on the dot. And why would you be exiting there? It should get back up to the high of the day, and it should really get back up to the all-time high. And it just poked through that a little tiny bit. So anyway, really, you could have been buying in between the 10 by 9 range, ideally 950 or 925, even a little bit lower, and just see that it's holding that as a low. And if you're wrong, great. You're going to lose an R when it gets down to 850 or 825, whatever you gotten in for your $100 risk. And if it moves in your direction, great. That's even better because you're going to make more than 2R because it should continue up as it did. It got into the $15 price, and that would have been from let's just say conservatively you got in at 10, and this low here was 10 at 1125. So from 10 by 9 up to 15, that's a nice 5-hour trade. Pretty much everything was bullish today. Not really a need to look at the bears, look at the puts. One other thing I'll do here is if you duplicate this, did I already duplicate it? What is going on here? Oh, I did. Okay. It ran right up into this high right here and then came right back up into it here. And this is just the same uptrend that I drew just the other day. Kind of following some of these angles here. Didn't quite get into the lows in here. Didn't really pause right in here. But really has a really nice framework. Actually, it did kind of get into it at pre-market. It just didn't pull back far enough to get in here. Didn't pause at this. Retested to this one. So this was a retest at 840. Almost got a retest at 845. So at 840, where was the low? 840 right in here. The low was, and then really close to the 950 price, 960. So 10 by 9 would have worked right here. Actually buying off of this low and riding it right back up into this and exiting right at the high here, which you're not going to buy right at the low, right at the high. But that would have really been getting in like 10 by 9 and getting out at close to 14. So that's still a really nice move. And then, like I said, it just stayed above this 21, didn't come back down to this level, just continued to grind up. And so we'll see if we continue to move up in this range. I don't know that we need to copy this up again, but we can look for that to just continue to grind higher. At some point, we'll have a deeper pullback because it just needs to rest a little bit more. But for right now, it's just moving really nicely bullish. And we'll just continue to watch for some bullish trades and see what happens this week. So hope this helps. This is Just AMZN. Thanks.